Welcome to the 9th Future Fabrics Expo. It's our biggest showcase yet. I hope you walk through the right way to see all the fabrics and innovations and information zone and all the things that we have. Delighted to say that this year our seminar series is in partnership with Parley for the Oceans. And I'm unfortunately announcing that Cyril Gutsch is not going to be here for unforeseen personal circumstances, but he has sent a video statement last night, so it's just been recorded, and we're going to play that, followed by Dana Thomas, author of Fashionopolis, who's going to be moderating the conversation between Ursula de Castro from Fashion Revolution and Mary Cray, former head of the UK Parliamentary Audit Committee. And we're going to start now with the video statement from Cyrill. Also, you've got this, hopefully, with the hashtags, etc., hashtag Future Fabrics Expo and what have you. So we're going to get started with Cyrill's statement.
Yes, hello, hi. My name is Cyrill. I'm the founder and CEO of Palais for the Oceans. We started in 2012, that's 8 years ago, and at the beginning we saw that we would inspire and empower creators, thinkers and leaders to take a stand, to drive change, because we saw that this vast magic blue universe would be dying within our lifetime, and we as a generation would leave behind the legacy of death, destruction. And when we looked at all these environmental issues, then we saw them directly related to economy. But it's not our approach to blame and to shame. It's not our way to point fingers. We're creators. And we are, to be very frank, the core, the epicenter of the problem. Because it's us who create the materials. It's us who creates the science, has the impact on making products, making technology sexy, defining these standards in a way. And yes, economy is rolling it out, is capitalizing, is mining, is drilling for the perfect commercialization. But I think the creative community with their artists, designers, scientists, media, we need to own the environmental movement. And we can be faster than anyone, we can be faster than any government. And we wanted to make a point back then because climate change was something we couldn't tackle. Overfishing was too big of a cause. Massive organizations failed. So we looked for something new. And we decided in 2012 that we're going to focus on plastic pollution. Because plastic is this perfect poster boy, this symbol of a toxic age we created. An age where we were so excited about our new skills of creating materials that last, that productions that can scale, distribution that can span around the world, that we forgot to actually question our own success and say, how would it look if this item, this material, this substance would be replicated, would be made in the millions? Now we know, 50, 60 years later, after we invented all these key technologies like plastics, synthetic fibers, other chemicals that we use for coating or glues, we now know that we're paying a very high price for being so short-sighted, because success needs to be redefined as something that works in a permanent cycle. And plastic, unfortunately, is not that material. It's not fit for a circular economy, because this material is toxic. It's a design failure, and while making it, while making products from it, while consuming these products, while discarding or recycling these products, plastic sheds microparticles. It leaches chemicals, it gases off. Plastic is not a reliable material. It's bad for our own health. It goes through our nose, mouth, we eat it, we breathe it in, we get it through the skin. And we need just to accept that this standard technology that became this superstar of a failure needs to stay in the past. And we need to create a future that is made with materials that actually behave in a good way, or at least not in a harmful way. Without having complicated systems in place, a material should fall apart, should become nutrition value, or should be able to be reused without shedding and spreading toxic ingredients. I think it's time to acknowledge that we made big mistakes, but also 50 years seems like a long time. In the whole calendar of Earth, it's a split moment, and I think it doesn't make sense to look back and to blame ourselves. Right now we just have to sit down and say the future is biofabrication, the future is green chemistry, the future is not toxic, we can't afford that anymore. And what we did with Ocean Plastic, with that brand we created, with that supply chain we created by accident, because nobody else wanted to kind of bring this idea to life on converting marine plastic into fiber, into premium material. What we learned from that is that you need to produce financial success. You need to create a trend. You need to make things sexy. And the power of fashion is that if you're doing it in the segment of fashion, in the segment of sports, then you have this massive halo effect on all other categories. See where Ocean Plastic, this brand, this premium material is now. Everybody wants to do it. Everybody suddenly goes out there, buys the worst plastic, recycles it, copies it. That's amazing. Imagine we do that with leather, fur, or fossil fuel. I think it's our obligation now as the creative community with a very strong focus on fashion to give everything we have, to empower everybody, to inspire everybody, to really encourage everyone to make the switch. And this will not be an easy run. It will take time. And we're at the total beginning, and I like to compare it with the digital revolution. Back then in 2000 and even before, people couldn't imagine what change digital would bring to the global society. But here we are. Digital changed everything, and still we are struggling to understand the consequences, the new logic, the new ways. And this is exactly about to happen with material. I think all toxic material needs to go. We have to leave it behind us. And we have to push what we call at Palais the material revolution. In the next 10 years, we need to find replacements for every single ingredient, every substance we depend on by designing and making our products with a good alternative. And we should not rely on systems. Systems failed us the last 50 years. Let's not put materials and products out there that could not end up in nature. Let's focus on creating things that actually don't hurt. So I'm extremely excited to be partner of the sustainable angle. I'm extremely happy to look at a long-term relationship, and we see you, all these people that are now in this room, as the resistance. And we will do everything we can to help, to boost, and to be on your side. Palais is a collaboration network, and we're here to recruit you. Thank you for the oceans, climate, and life.